Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumedh Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today I want to talk to you about the 5 things that truly helped me to become confident. Now, if you know me and you know my story, I used to be incredibly shy. You could watch my first initial videos, how I was very awkward in front of a camera. And you would notice also in middle school and high school, I was very introverted. I was very in my own head, and I couldn't really talk to people and open up with people very easily. As I've gone through my personal growth journey, I've started to recognize that my confidence has become exponential. And the reason for this is because of 5 things, and I want to share those 5 things with you today in this video. So the first thing that I would say, which truly made me confident, is self-awareness. You got to know yourself. You got to know yourself, and by knowing yourself, you know your worth. Now, what does it mean to know yourself? You got to understand yourself, the dark and the light side, okay? Doing shadow work for me specifically has helped me to overcome the things that I've been afraid of confronting. Elements of my own character, elements of where I felt like I wasn't good enough, elements of how I felt like, I couldn't really get along. I felt kind of like an outsider growing up all the time. I felt like I was different from others. However, slowly over time that started to evolve because of the fact that I knew myself better. Meditation really helped that. Okay, meditation really helped my personal growth journey and building that self-awareness. And so I could say that self-awareness builds self-esteem, which builds self-confidence. Nobody really tells us to believe in ourselves. We grow up and people are constantly telling us to believe in everything else besides ourselves. But when we can truly live according to how we think is the best for us, and we do that without actually sabotaging ourselves, it becomes ultimately powerful. We live from a space of freedom. The second thing that I would say made me become truly confident is to become internally validated. Okay, now this was not easy, absolutely not easy, and I still struggle with this at certain points and certain times to check my ego. However, it's been a very important process for me to become internally validated, to give myself a pat on the back, to give myself internal notifications, as I like to call it. So instead of seeking validation outside of yourself, you want to seek it internally and understand that happiness comes from within, just like confidence comes from within. And the internal world creates the external world. So when you feel confident within, other people feel that resonating off of you. And they feel confident. You give them permission to be confident. One thing that I would say is, if you think of confidence as an internal process, let's take confidence to 2 different extremes, okay? Confidence on one end of the spectrum, if it becomes too much, it becomes egotistical, it becomes arrogant, it becomes cocky. But then if you make it too little, it becomes almost a docile character, right? It becomes insecurity. It becomes compensation. So when you can come from that neutrality and that middle point, that space of wisdom, that pure awareness, it changes everything. So to be truly internally validated, you start to understand that you are giving yourself props. You are self-amused. You're not seeking things outside of yourself. You can feel good as you are. And that's such an important tip to be able to really fine-tune and tweak and hone and refine your confidence to the level that you feel like would embody that confident character, okay? You see, arrogance and insecurity, they're both depending on an external circumstance, right? They're based on other people's reactions. But understand that true confidence, real confidence, comes from that core confidence, which comes from within, which comes from the solar plexus, which is like a force of willpower in this world. So when you start to understand that, it starts to shift you from within. The third thing that I would say is getting really skilled at something, okay? You've heard this before. Confidence comes from competence. You have artistry, you have craftsmanship, you have mastery over some task or some activity or some passion of yours. You become really, really good at that thing, and you become world class at it. You start to refine it so well, and you start practicing and repeating that task so well that it exudes out of you. It emanates off of you. And what you can do once you get really, really good at that one skill, okay, high income skill sets, then what you can do is you can start to have a ripple effect into other areas of your life. So let's say you're confident in the gym, you can use that confidence and understand what it feels like, and then incorporating that same confidence into your relationships, into your business, and other areas of your life, okay? So once you focus on refining one top skill set, you can almost use it as a ripple effect to different areas of your life. So the third thing would be skill set. Also noting that challenge skills ratio creates the flow state, all right? So if you're challenging yourself and if you're skilled at that thing, you're generating that momentum and flow, which is going to automatically give you confidence, and you're going to be able to pull different topics from thin air and just be able to speak and not really worry about what people think of you. You're just there, you're embracing whatever is. You're there to be real. You're there to be authentic. You're not trying to put on a facade anymore because you've truly gotten to the unconscious competence with your character. Speaking of character, I talk a lot about confidence and confidence techniques and tools in my book TPM. Do check it out. It's on Amazon. One of the things that I mention in the book is to be able to truly act it till you fact it, to truly embody the character. And we talk about the confidence triangle in the book as well. What you want to be doing is acting confident. Just acting confident can get you feeling confident and embodying confidence. But if you have no reference experience of what that feels like, or you're unsure about what that feels like, it's going to become very difficult for you because you're going to be hesitant in the energy. You're going to feel like, man, this is not really me. But what if the confident you was the real you? And the version you're being now is the fake you, right? So really start to understand that and really start to refine and hone in on that craft, because that's going to be really crucial for you to embody that character and be like, yo, this is me. And it always has been me. I just needed to unlayer it. I just needed to unlock the key to be able to open it up. It was always there, but it was dormant inside of me. I need to become the volcano now and erupt, okay? And really start to share those gifts with the world. Start to express myself in a way that is authentic to me and truly feels like it resonates with my beingness, and not just kind of like a fake version of me that I feel like needs to belong and needs to fit into society. True confident people, they don't care what other people think, right? You put them in the middle of any environment, they're like, yeah, I'm still going to be me. I'm going to provide for myself, right? I have that self-reliance, and that gives you a sense of safety and protection, and then that gives you, that real feeling of foundation and values, and that's what's really crucial too for your confidence. And notice that the word confidence is the word con in it. So it starts out fake in the beginning, but then it starts to slowly become confid, right? Confide in yourself. You start to tell secrets and confide in yourself and understand that, the universe does have my back. That's the little secret. That's the conspiracy, the pronoia with yourself. Pronoia being the opposite of paranoia, right? This pronoia with yourself that you're like, man, yeah, the universe does have my back. I've always known this. Forever, ever. Forever, ever, ever. Finally, number 5, the last one that I would say is attract rather than chase. This is so key and so important that a lot of people overlook this. But needy, desperate people are repellent to confident people. Now, you start to understand this because you start getting triggered by those people as well. Because, I get triggered by people who are chasing or very desperate or needy because I used to be like that, right? So it's an aspect of me that I have shunned away in a sense. So when I see people like that, I feel triggered by that in a sense because it was my past self. So one thing to note here is this attract and chase mentality is like, you're never going to catch your own shadow. But if you turn your back to your shadow and walk away, you'll notice the shadow starts following you, okay? So this idea of connection, which builds a sense of love, rather than attachment, which is from the frequency of fear. When you can get to that connection, the connection with yourself, the connection to other people, then you can start to really build your confidence. When you're coming from that attachment, it feels like it feels almost like you're trapped or you're possessed or you need to possess somebody else or some kind of, thing to make you feel good. Like I used to buy lots of clothes. I know this is Ivan's jacket right here, but anyway, I used to buy lots and tons of clothes. I used to buy tons of clothing just to validate myself, right, and make me feel good, or buy lots of jewelry, buy lots of different things that made me feel good in the moment. However, I didn't really think of it long term and how it would serve my character. So in the sense, you got to look fly, of course, you got to put yourself out there, you got to have style and appearance, but at the same time, don't use any tool for a flow state as a crutch or as a band-aid solution or as a mask. You always want to have them be tools, strategies, and techniques, okay? I want to leave this video here. If you have any more questions about confidence, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. Have an amazing day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. See you next time.